Alright boys, welcome back to the channel. I have good news. The Astro runs again. My last video, man, I am kind of blown away. I got 280 some comments. There were so many awesome suggestions that had me going down a bunch of different ways, but ultimately I didn't feel like it was the fuel pump. I know my fuel pressure was a little weird in that video, but I saw it go higher earlier in the day. And the big thing to me that stuck out was the lack of idiot lights or warning lights on the side of the dash. I could say that all you people who were pointing to pass lock, you were correct. It was a pass lock issue, but it wasn't exactly what you think. I do appreciate all the suggestions. I tried resetting the pass lock with that 10-minute with a key on ×3. I tried chasing grounds. I tried so many things you guys suggested, and I could say that, you know, that led me to the solution, but ultimately I got really frustrated and I thought I maybe had a failing pass lock module or a bad ECM. Like I said, it's been rainy here. So I gave up and I had it towed. And I will humbly admit that you can be ambitious and try to get good at everything, and sometimes the simplest things will come and bite you in the ass. And in this case, oh man, I don't even want to say it, but Sarah was right. It was a fuse. And I swear that I checked all the fuses that made sense to me. I checked every ignition-related fuse, every fuel-related fuse, every computer ECM, like anything I could think of. And I did not check like power windows or like air conditioning or like gauges or like brakes or, oh yeah, I said gauges, didn't I? See, the thing is the odometer was lighting up and the gauges were backlit, so I assumed that fuse was good. It was not. So yeah, pass lock module gets gauge or gets power through the gauges or something. I don't know. So yeah, I mean this is I don't BS with you guys. When I make a mistake, I'll tell you, because everybody makes mistakes. A lot of people just edit theirs out. Yep, this idiot somehow missed the simplest possible thing and was going way deeper and harder on much more complicated things. I mean, I learned how to rebuild a pass lock module because I didn't think I'd find one. Just, yeah. So anyway, van runs. Can give you guys a quick little tour, but we're going to be heading out west really soon. The other thing I want to do before we go, that's going to happen at the end of this video, is I'm going to swap out the headlights. The stock headlights in the Astro, they're pretty. I do want to be able to see on this trip, so we're going to upgrade those before I leave. I actually have 2 sets of complete headlight bulbs that I'm going to be testing on this trip. There are going to be some additional videos coming out with how to do all this stuff that I'm going to show you, but this is just going to be a quick tour just to show you what's going on in here. Alright, so up front, this is pretty basic Astro stuff, but this thing is loaded to the gills since it's a luxury conversion van. Super comfortable captain's chairs. This one's power. The passenger seat, nah. The only thing I changed up here was the head unit. This is a Pioneer something or other head unit. They honestly all look the same to me, but this one has CarPlay and it has capacitive touch. You'll see some of the lower end models look really similar, but they don't have capacitive touch, so you can't do like pinch to zoom and that kind of stuff. It only tracks one finger at a time. This one's supposed to be nicer. It's also got a backup camera. I'm going to be adding that into the back Astro at some point. But yeah, other than that, pretty standard up here. Let's see, we have the factory trip meter right there. LEDs here, and then these are red. I like driving at night. The front cockpit area bathed in red light so it doesn't ruin your night vision. Up here we have the factory DMC switches. I repurposed some of these. Some of these are still the same. So aircraft lights. Got some LED aircraft lights. And then these are really cool. Honestly, these interior lights are my favorite part of this interior. They're great. I grew up with a van like this, so I really like them. It's this fluted smoked plastic with a bunch of incandescent bulbs, but since I had to install the fan, which I'm going to finish before we leave tomorrow morning, I had to pull the ceiling and I replaced them all with RGB LEDs, and it turned out awesome. Check this out. Oh yeah. So you can adjust the color, the brightness, everything. These are awesome, and they're going to use way less power than a million incandescent bulbs, so way more energy efficient. Love it. To control them, I did this. This is the little switch that came with it, and I cut this out of walnut and stained it to match the interior and used a router and everything. I don't know. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm not really a pro woodworker, but yeah. Alright, so this is a MaxxAir Deluxe fan. I forget the model number. I'll put it down below, but this is one of the best ones you can buy. Speaking of climate control, I've installed a Chinese diesel heater in this wall. Really excited with how this turned out. I mean, it took up no extra space. Literally, there was nothing in that wall anyway. So I had to raise it and do like kind of a weird mounting strategy to get it to fit, but it turned out great. I did almost burn the van down. I'm going to show that in an upcoming video. I think you can kind of see the scorch marks. Yeah, these things, they get hot, but it's safe now, I think. The thermostat for the diesel heater is over here. You just flip this little switch, and now you can start up your diesel heater and set the temperature and everything, and that'll be awesome. I've tried it, and it works great. The other thing I've done here is this was originally the VCR and like audio center, so you could put a VHS of like Animal House or the Goonies or something in there when you're headed up north or something. That's all gone now, so I had all this space to use. So in here you'll see a little green light. That's a Renogy DC to DC charger, and then I have two lithium iron phosphate 20 amp hour batteries, so 40 amp hours, probably like 35 amp hours usable. If you click this, I have a little charging thing that fit perfectly in here, so just crazy happenstance that worked out. And then I put another one back here while I'm sleeping, can charge the phone. So that's about it for the interior of this van. Doesn't have like a little sink and like plants and fancy stuff, but you know, gets the job done. And we have some propane cookers if we need to cook anything, but mainly we're just going to be hustling on this trip to get out west. We have an awesome adventure. Actually going to be looking at another vehicle. Alright boys, that's about it for the tour of the back Astro. There's one more thing I want to do before I leave, which is replace the headlights. The stock headlights in this van suck. I am a firm believer that LED headlights are kind of garbage, and so I bought some higher wattage Hella bulbs, so they should provide a lot more lumens than stock, and most importantly, those type of bulbs are designed for reflector housing. Typically what happens when people upgrade to LED headlights is they get a lot of scatter, and it really illuminates the front of the ground right in front of your van. So if you don't know any better, you see the ground brighter and you're like, oh, it's better, it's better. Well, the problem is the optics, okay? So I'm going to be doing a test between some really high-end headlights. I was contacted by Agnes of NovSight, and they were nice enough to send me some really premium LED headlights, and I'm excited to see how they do. So I'm going to be bringing the Hella headlights and these NovSight Extreme LED headlights along with me, and we're going to be swapping them out on the journey. So I don't know, I should have a long-term review when I get back, but this is just a quick install. We're going to put the LED ones in first, and then we're going to swap to the Hella halogens once we are out west. So as I've said, I'm typically not a fan of LED headlights. It's not that LEDs are bad for creating light, it's that the reflector housing has to have the optics designed for an LED. I actually worked on an LED flashlight when I worked at Milwaukee Tool. I'll put a link to that bad boy down here. I've been pretty critical of people upgrading to these over the years. One might even say a hater. But, you know, these are supposedly really high-end headlights, so we're going to give them a go and see how they work. As for the headlights themselves, they look really cool. I don't know who is on their industrial design department, but this is definitely not just engineered. It looks nice, which is important that something that's inside your headlight assembly looks cool. Maybe. All's pretty straightforward. One thing that I think is interesting is there's no real visual difference between the 9005 low beams and the 9006 high beams, or maybe it's the opposite. Let's see. Oh, now I don't even know. I just know this is the high beam, and this is the low beam, I think. Which one is what? Put this one in your mouth, this one in your ear, and that one in your butt. Wait, no. They are not identical, though. They do have different part numbers, so I don't know. Quick test, just to make sure there's not a crazy amount of glare. Take this with a grain of salt because cameras can be deceiving. Well, it definitely looks brighter. I don't know how the beam pattern's going to compare, but also looks higher. I need to re-aim these bad boys. I have a high beam out. Maybe that's why I thought these headlights were so bad. Alright, so stay tuned for the long-term review of those LED headlights. Again, LED hater, but I'm going to be bringing extra headlights just in case these are terrible. I have been known to have been wrong in the past, though.
A couple times. Once or twice. Maybe recently.
Yeah? Yeah, Sarah?
Yeah. So we said let's check all the fuses. We've been doing things with the electrical system. Let's just pull them all out and look at them. Let's just.
Again, thank you to everyone who left a comment. It did help me troubleshoot. I got it down to pass lock, and yeah, the freaking fuse that says gauges, the gauge was lit up. So I don't know. I blame Obama, I guess. But anyway, everything is working. We're going to try to keep it working, and we're going to put 1,500 miles on it and go look at a mystery vehicle. Stay tuned.